It was very amazing how I could connect. For me, it was like hours, but the real thing is it was like maybe 1-2 minutes that I passed and then I came back. And also I remember the times I passed away, there was like bubbles. It was a space, like it was a universe, kind of, but it was a space full of bubbles. And inside the bubbles, there were like small planets and they were like full of soul family. Like each soul family, like they're all connected, but they were like reincarnating with the same soul family one over and over and over and over again. And that was kind of how souls are evolving together. And also there were like highest bubbles or highest planets, like from different frequencies of knowledge, of consciousness, that they could like see things in a more evolved way. Like they were like evolving. Some of them, they were like evolving right here, and some of them, they were like a little higher. Not that they were more important than the others, but the awareness that some of the planets or some of the soul families they were having, it was different from the one from the top. It was like higher. And of course, there was like different realms, if you want to call it like that. And I remember that there were not only beings from human Earth, like planet Earth, there were beings from other planets. There were beings from different shapes, forms. And it was, I don't know, it was so amazing watching all of that. And then I remember like I came back. And it was very shocking, especially for my parent. In one of the 12 times I passed, that I remember getting out from my body and I was like on the top of the hospital and I was looking like hundreds of lines or tubes of light entering to the hospital, like from the people that they were sending like prayers or energy or things. And I was receiving all of that energy. I was like aware that in a way their prayers or their intention of me getting better, it was getting into me. And then the last day, which it was when my mom spoke with me, she and my sister Elizabeth, they decided to do a meditation of like letting go. So they went into themselves, they covered me in a blue light, and my mom told like to the existence, do whatever it has to be, do your will, not mine. And then she covered me in that light, also my sister, and I had the last of the heart attacks, which lasted like for 4.5 minutes, sort of. And that experience was one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had in my life. And literally I was nothing. There was no hell, no heaven. That doesn't exist. And I realized that the one that reincarnates one and over and over and over and over again, it's not kind of like the soul, because the soul is like something that's everything. It was more like the mind. The mind is like the one that's reincarnating by telling its stories, and whenever you do not realize who you really are behind of all of that, those masks, then you reincarnate and over, and it's like the mind reincarnating, because in that space there was no mind. It was just silence. It was nothing. It was a nothing full of peace. And then I realized that when you die, you won't take anything. The only thing that you will take, it's your peace and the silence. It's the only thing that's like real in where I was. So like all of the angels, all of the structures, all of the programming, all of the imagination that we have created, like all of the saints, spirits, whatever it is, it's also part of the imagination. But that space, there was no imagination, there was no mind. It was only peace. It was only love. The light from being like nothing, like a small part, started telling me, do you want to come back? And I was like, oh my God, going back with the humans. Oh my God. Because, you know, we're passing through a process of transformation or of inner awareness. But through the process, it's a planet that's full of density and a lot of things which are, of course, changing. And most of the people from Earth, they don't even know themselves. They just know their programming or their conditioning, their belief systems. So it's very difficult, like, get into them because of their structure. So I was like really doubting. But then I was like, I don't want to be egoist in that space where I was, because I really want to share this with the world. I really want to share this peace, this love, this no mind, this connection with everything that is from the nothingness we are. And then the light told me, well, it's your choice. But if you go back, you will open up a rehab. And it is not only a rehab of drug addictions or things like that. It's a rehab of consciousness, a rehab of awareness, a rehab of people that they don't even know themselves. Because the moment you start, of course, to know who you really are, who's behind all those masks, who's behind the mask you created, there's only someone that's watching everything. When you really remember who you are, your inner being, then everything else can be just transformed. So the light told me, like, go back, open up the rehab, and you will meet someone with clear eyes. I don't know if they were blue or green, but it was like clear. And she or he will help you with the project, which I am already like doing it. I already have my rehab in Mexico, and it's growing, of course, each time more and more and more, but I'm just surrendering to life. I'm not trying to control. I don't have even a projection or even a dream or a goal. I'm just allowing myself to be, and from that beingness is how things, they just unfold like so easily, effortlessly. From this, it was like 9 years ago. It was year 2015, and a lot of things have been transformed. Anyway, remember the last meditation that my mom and my sister, they were doing? They surrounded me with this blue light, and I was in that moment with the light, and that lasted for 4.5 minutes. And the doctor said, like, we're gonna try it one more time, because I wasn't coming back, and we're gonna try it one more time, and if he doesn't come back, we're gonna let him rest in peace. And they did me the electroshock here, and I came back.